do we get more white people to join the movement for liberation? Hi, I'm a longtime activist and an anthropologist who studies social change. I am also a white and a class trader, so I know a lot about how to talk to different kinds of people about liberation work and why it benefits everybody. So the movement against capitalism, against colonialism, for liberation, it's growing, obviously, right? This is really, really exciting, but it's not going to actually succeed unless we keep growing it bigger and bigger until we hit a critical mass and we can actually dismantle those systems and replace them with something that doesn't suck, right? So by now we know it doesn't work when talking to people, and it's unfortunate because it's one of the most common things that people try because it's based in very legitimate emotions, which is shame. We're all very angry and we want to shame people who are not taking action because we're just like, how can you possibly, like, what is wrong with you? Look at what is happening in the world. How can you not care? But usually when we're leading with feelings of anger and frustration and shame, it stops us from actually connecting with people. And if we can't connect with them, then why are they going to listen to us when we're trying to tell them something? We also try to appeal to a person's sense of empathy. Like, look, these people need help. Isn't this so terrible? Like, we should help them. And that is better. That's a step up. But it's still, it only reaches a certain number of people who actually like have the capacity to let that empathy drive them to action. The truth is that most people don't have room for that because their own lives are pretty fucking difficult. People are drowning in student debt. They are feeling alienated. They are struggling with substance abuse. They're dealing with their own childhood trauma. There is so much that people are going through, and if we don't acknowledge that first, then we're missing out on an opportunity to connect with what actually makes us all human and the way that these systems are interconnected and impact all of us. Everybody's in a lot of pain, and when you connect with them on that level and say, that's horrible, you don't deserve that. I also am going through a lot of similar pain. Here's what I've learned about the sources of mine. That is the foundation for solidarity. All of our struggles are connected, and so finding those connections is the key because they all have the same solution, collective liberation. Instead of saying what is wrong with these people who don't care, we should actually get genuinely curious about what is standing in the way of them joining the movement, such as extremely well-funded propaganda and their own life difficulties, which keep them focused on just trying to survive. As a white person, when you learn that most of the sources of your trouble stem from colonialism and capitalism, whether it's through the genocide of your own ancestors, which, you know, if you're of Irish descent, it's relevant, but also if you have kids right now under capitalism, it's a fucking nightmare because our society is not set up to support parents or children. Cost of renting, cost of living, inflation, the lack of green spaces, healthcare system collapse, all of these things are related to capitalism and colonialism, and so they all have the same solution. If you want to take on the challenge of growing the movement, I highly recommend Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. Goes into all of this.